for now. And then I am very pleased to welcome Jenny Stefanik to our little Main Street group this evening. Jenny is a neighbor and a good friend of Main Street. She is the mom of 4 very special little angels. She's an advocate. She's a faculty associate at the University of Maryland. She's an award-winning speaker, a writer, and an author. Most importantly, she's the executive director of the Maddie J.T. Stefanik Peace Foundation. And to us, she is Mama Peace. Her goal is to make peace the news. She is going to join us today, and she's going to explore resiliency with us, tips and tools for peace. With that, Jenny, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can introduce yourself to everybody and get to know everybody.
So, hi, everybody. A lot of people call me Jenny, but most people call me Mama Peace. How many of you were on the last Mama Peace chat that I did in June? You were? Yeah, I'm pointing as if you can see it. So only one person, 2, couple, well, Jillian, of course you were on. For those of you who this is the first time you're connecting with me, I am Mama Peace, and I'm the mom of a young man named Maddie. And Maddie lived in Rockville, Maryland, and he didn't live long. He only lived 14 years, but during that time, he wrote lots of poetry, lots of books, and he taught us a lot about peace. He taught us about going through tough things and still finding reason to celebrate life, still finding reason to have hope and to connect with our neighbors. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So I wanted to start by thinking about what are some of the tough things that we're dealing with right now. It's 2020. What are some of the challenges that people are dealing with right now? I know the heat. I hear it's really hot. I'm down in Georgia right now. And I hear that what we've been doing down here in the 90s and hundreds for the past few weeks, you guys are getting up in Maryland now. Yep. Yelena?
Oh, wow, you said my name right.
Good.
Missing my friends, most of all. That's to me.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's very hard. Do you
and
get
my job, too.
And your what?
And my job.
And your job. So you're not able to work during all of this right now.
Yeah, I won't be. I don't think I will be working anymore because I think it's going to be closing, sadly. So I'm kind of sad about it. But we don't know. We're crossing our fingers. So.
Okay. So that's a tough thing to be going through. What are some of the other challenges some people are going through right now? And we're going to come back to this again after I finish sharing some slides with you. But what are some other challenges that we've been dealing with as communities and people?
One of my challenges that I'm currently dealing with is basically not being able to go anywhere, and I'm having a lot of trouble coping with this new life with the whole pandemic situation. I'm also like dealing with not being able to see my friends and go places and do things that I wanted to do before and stuff like that. And basically, I'm dealing with the new life of being at home every day.
Hey, yeah, that is tough. That is tough. Well, these are some things that I think I'm going to share some information with you about stressful situations and about resiliency and about some things that we can maybe do to help with fostering resiliency. And after I share my slides, we're going to come back and have another conversation and really talk about some of the tips and tools that I've shared and see how they might help you. Does that sound good? Good. Yeah. So we're going to go on mute now, and I'm going to start sharing my screen.
And everybody should go to speaker view so you can see the screens. Yep, there we go.
All right, so we're going to start here. All right, so let's start with exploring resilience, tips and tools for peace. So as we just said, nasty stuff happens. All right, we've got COVID, we've got a lot of social inequity and injustice going on. We've got people who can't go to work, people who aren't able to see their friends. We've got a lot of nasty stuff that goes on in our world. Even dealing with disability can sometimes be pretty challenging for people. Good news is nifty stuff happens as well. Okay, so while there's nasty stuff, there's nifty stuff. And what we need to do is decide, how are we going to think about life? Are we going to focus on the nasty stuff, focus on the nifty stuff? Are we going to look at the blessings or the burdens? Because it's really about balance. And we're going to talk today a little bit about how we can handle this balance. Years ago.
Before you go on, just somebody is asking, what do you mean by the nifty stuff?
Oh, nifty is one of my favorite words, is Mama Peace. Nifty means I'm a very old lady. It's a way of saying nice, wonderful, great. It's the opposite of nasty. Okay, so nasty is icky and nifty is wonderful. And it's kind of like saying far out or super cool. It makes me very old. And Mama Peace is almost 61, so I use the word nifty, and it's one of my favorite words. You're going to hear it a lot when I talk. So any other questions before I go on?
No, we're good.
Okay. That was a really good question. Thank you for whoever asked that. I'm going to talk very, very quickly about research that I did about 10 years ago, because I think that research is still relevant today. And some people like research and some people don't, but we're going to go through this very quickly. But I did a study where I talked to parents and families who had children with different types of disabilities and asked them, what is stressful? Now, this was 10 years before there was COVID and a pandemic. But what they said was stressful was when they were frustrated because things didn't line up, when there were mismatches, when what they wanted wasn't available, or when what they needed wasn't available, or if they hoped for something and that didn't happen. So they said it was stressful when things did not line up the way they wanted things to line up. It was stressful to be tired all the time. The parents in this study said it's really hard because when you're dealing with disability and when you're dealing with stressful situations, you spend more time than other people doing basic tasks, and that can be exhausting. They said all of the unknowns and changes are stressful. We don't know when COVID's going to end. We don't know what's next with disability. We don't know who our service providers or our caregivers are going to be. And we feel like there's a lack of choices, that we're very limited in what we can make decisions on. Right? I mean, right now, we cannot choose to go to work if our place of work is closed and we're told we have to be on quarantine. Sometimes we don't have a choice in what doctors or caregivers we have. And a lack of community. Just sadness, because when you're dealing with disability, very often you get isolated. You don't have people that you can connect with. And this was true for the parents, not just the children and the teenagers with disabilities. Parents said that when they have a child with a disability, very often they don't get to connect with other parents because they end up in the world of disability. So these are some of the stressful things that people deal with. So then I asked these families, what do you need? What do you need to deal with stressors? And the things that they needed was hope. All right, that was the number one need. They needed hope that things could be okay. Number one, hope that they could get happy, that they could get their needs met. They also needed information and resources and partnerships and choices. And another thing they needed was validation. And I think this is really important, especially in the Main Street community. Validation means you know that what you're feeling or going through is real. And these families and these children and these teenagers said, we need to know that we're not alone and that these stressful things that we're dealing with, that they're real. So that when you say, I miss my friends, somebody says, I know that's got to be really hard. Or I can't go to work, that somebody says that's got to be hard, rather than dismissing it and saying, oh, just cheer up, just cheer up. It's not about just cheering up. It's about somebody acknowledging how hard things are with what you're going through in the tough times. The third question that I asked the families was what helps you. So what stresses you out? And we looked at that. What do you need? And what do you have that's really supportive that we could build on? And the 5 things that they said were compassion and empathy, which kind of fits with that validation, right? With people saying, not I feel bad for you, all right? Empathy is people understanding what you're going through and feeling bad for the situation. Not feeling sorry for you, but understanding the challenges and supporting you through it. They also said it was helpful when they had good tips and resources, when they had support, when they had logistics are the things we need. So like if you go to work and you need a ride, having the bus route, having a way to get to work, having somebody that, you know, helps you plan shopping lists. For parents, having somebody that brings a cup of coffee if it's a really tough week for you. The other things is they said they needed community. They need socialization and community. You know, yes, we need medical care. Yes, we need rides to work, but we also need a sense of belonging and community, and we need happiness and what I call okayness, because what Maddie says about peace is peace begins with when we can say, I'm okay. I'm okay. I have stressful things going on in my life. There's things I need, but I have some supports and I'm okay, right? I may not be okay with COVID. I may not be okay with a pandemic. I may not be okay with disability or with the heat or with not going to work, but I'm okay with who I am as a person. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because that feeds into what's called resilience. And I think resilience is one of the most important things that we can try to help people learn about and embrace and have in their life, because it can help anyone and everyone, children and adults, deal with stress and tough times. So what is resilience? Resilience is the ability to recover and deal with stress. It doesn't mean you don't feel stress, okay? I mean, we all feel stress. If it's hot outside, it's hot. But if we can deal with the heat, that's resilience, okay? Resilience has to do with being okay and feeling nurtured or embraced, and control and choices and connections. And we're gonna go through these one at a time, but I just wanted to let you know that resilience is not saying, I don't feel pain, I'm never sad, I'm always okay. Resilience is being able to say, nasty things happen, but nifty things happen too. It's about being able to find that balance, and we're going to talk about that now. So one of the things that's really interesting is, how do we create resilience? And what research shows is that the younger the person is, and the earlier in their developmental life they are, the more resilience and all of those supports need to be supported by somebody else, by a parent, by a caregiver, by a friend, by a peer, by one other person. As children grow older, as they become teenagers, as they developmentally progress, they start finding resilience within. And by the time we're adults, it's a nice mix of other people helping us and us finding it within. So basically, you know, in this chat here, we're all young adults or old adults. Some of us older than others. And so it's a nice mix of, we need to have, remember the things I said earlier, we need to have resources and supports and community and all of those helpful tips and tools. We need that, but we also need to want to be strong from within. We have to want to connect with other people in community, because we can give somebody a whole lot of community, and if they don't have a desire to connect, then resiliency can't be nurtured. So there is this continuum, there's this progression where it begins with other people saying, let me help you build resilience, to where we say, thank you for helping me, and I now want to be resilient till I can be resilient all by myself. So it's a progression. So how do we foster that progression? Well, there's different things we can do. One of them is routines. Routines matter a lot. I'm going to ask you this question once we go back to a conversation, but when we're all sitting at home during this pandemic and we can't go out and we can't go to our jobs, it would be very easy for us to not get up, not get washed, not get dressed, to have breakfast at lunchtime, to forget what day of the week it is, to fall out of our routines. It is very important, especially during stressful times, to have routines, to get up, to get washed, to get dressed, to say today is Monday, or today's Taco Tuesday, or today's Pajama Saturday. I mean, to have a routine, but don't make every day Pajama Day. Don't make every day the day that we eat on the couch in front of the TV. To have routines and eat meals at the table and to connect with other people, even if we can't go out. Another way to help build resiliency, in addition to routines, is to have normal, typical expectations. Expectations. So if I'm a person who needed quiet time to study before, just because I can't go outside of my house doesn't mean I'm suddenly a person that can do my work in a bunch of noise right now. So we have to know who we are and to have good expectations, to not compare ourselves to other people, to not compare ourselves to who we were before a pandemic, to not compare ourselves to who we are when we're not going through stress, but to say, who am I and how do I cope? What do I need in the nasty times and the nifty times, and to be realistic about our goals and our dreams and our expectations, and to not get upset if our dreams are different from other people's dreams, or to not be above helping other people who need us because we've got something to offer them. And that fits into purpose. What really matters for resilience is that we have a sense of purpose, that we have a reason for being. And Maddie called that a heart song. Maddie called that a heart song. That there's something that we know, even if we're stressed, even if we have a disability, even if we're the parent of a child or a young adult with a disability, even if it's 110 degrees outside, even if we can't go to work, even if we're isolated and sitting at home, we have something to offer the world. We have something that we can do that can make other people go, wow. And everybody has that. That's the truth. One of the things that Maddie said helps with rocking resilience is to have mottos. And we're going to talk about this when we go back to conversation. Maddie's motto was, remember to play after every storm. Maddie knew that there were going to be tough things going on again and again and again. He knew that he had a disability. He knew that he was going to go through a lot of challenges, be in and out of the hospital. He knew that he wasn't going to live a long life. And he also went through some challenges at home, and he also was socially isolated. The more his medical condition became worse, the fewer opportunities he had to be with his friends. So he had lots of what he called storms, not necessarily rainstorms, but just more and more tough things and stressors in life. But what he said is, if I play after every storm, once the nasty bit is over and we move into the nifty stuff, he said, if I remember to play, if I remember to smile, if I remember to connect with somebody else, that's going to help me feel better inside. And it's going to give me community. It's going to connect me to others so that when another storm comes along, when another nasty bit comes along, there are people out there that know me, that have laughed with me, that'll help me laugh again. So it's important to have something, to think about a motto or a saying for you. It's also important for us to look for the choices we do have. I mean, right now, there's a lot of things we can't choose. We can't choose whether the heat is going to come down. We can't choose whether we go to work. We can't choose whether the pandemic is going to end. But we can choose whether we're going to smile over something today. We can choose whether we're going to pick up our phone and connect with a friend even if we can't go out with a friend. We can choose whether we're going to still practice our skills, practice good habits, practice things that we've learned that'll help us go back to work when it's time to go back to work. So we can make choices even if they're not the choices we want to make. We still have to look for the choices that we've got, and we still have to seek out community, because community really, really matters. And I think it's amazing that so many people are logging on to Zoom and doing these community chats, because right now there's 15 to 20 of us sitting here connecting. I'm in Georgia, you're in Maryland, and we're still creating community even though we're not in the same room. And that helps build resilience, because it helps us connect. And it was a choice for you to join today. It was a choice. Everything in life is a choice, even if your choice is just your attitude. So let's see what's next here. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to share with you before we start wrapping up. Research has shown that there are 3 things we can say to ourselves that help us with resiliency, that help us deal with those stressful things, help us deal with the nasty things, and even help us celebrate the nifty things, that help us tap into, you know, what we need in the way of supports. And I want to share these 3 things because I want everybody on this Zoom chat to start saying them to themselves. The first one is, I have. I have. It matters that we stop and think, not what we don't have, but what do we have? Do we have friends? Do we have technology? Do we have access to a Zoom chat? Do we have parents and caregivers or good support? Start thinking about the things that you have, because when you are really, really stressed and struggling, go back to what you have and remember that, because it's going to help you then say, I can. I can. I can deal with this. I can call someone if I need to. I can keep practicing my skills. I love this. Somebody's already practicing. I have. I can. And the last one is, I am. I am someone who matters. I am someone with purpose. So I have things, even if it's not what I want to have. I have connections. I have people. I have skills. I have internet. I have a good smile. Think of everything that you have, and then think of everything that you can do and can share and can access from other people, and then everything that you are. Everything that you are. So everybody, I want you to practice your I have, I can, I am. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of those later. I want to wrap this up before we go to conversation with a Maddie poem. Every time I do a Mama Peace chat, I try to either share a Maddie quote or a Maddie poem or something that he said. So the one that I want to share today is called On Being a Champion. He wrote this when he was about 9 years old, and he was going through a lot of really stressful things. He was starting to have to use a wheelchair more and more, and he went to having to have a tube in his throat to help him breathe, and he was really struggling, but he realized, I still have stuff within me that I can offer other people, even with my disability, and there are people out there that can help me with my I have, I can, and I am statements. So I want to share Maddie sharing this poem called On Being a Champion. So here we go.
On being a champion. A champion is a winner, a hero, someone who never gives up, even when the going gets rough. A champion is a member of a winning team, someone who overcomes challenges, even when it requires creative solutions. A champion is an optimist, a hopeful spirit, someone who plays the game, even when the game is called life, especially when the game is called life. There can be a champion in each of us if we live as a winner, if we live as a member of the team, if we live with a hopeful spirit for life. September 1999.
So I would like to say that anybody who goes through anything stressful and pauses to say, this is tough. It is. Validate that. Say, this is hard. But I have, I can, I am. And they choose to balance. They choose to balance the nasty stuff and the nifty stuff, the burdens, the blessings, the tough stuff, the terrific stuff, and they balance it. That's resilience. And resilience can come from within, and resilience can come from others, but resilience is going to help us rock the tough stuff, and we can do that together. So that's what I had to share with you today. So let me exit this and stop sharing my screen. Come back into, there we go. So we can unmute anybody that wants to share anything. So thank you for letting me share that. And I'm curious for any comments, conversation, and how we move forward.
What do you think of Freddie Mercury's song from Queen, We Are the Champions, now that you did a Champions plot in one of your views recently, just now?
Yes, oh, I love that. Actually, I had cancer, and when I finished all my cancer treatments, I took that song by Freddie Mercury, We Are the Champions, and I did a whole video of my cancer journey just showing we are the champions and celebrating. Champion is a great word. Champion can be, and in the poem that I shared by Maddie, you know, Freddie Mercury says, we are the champions of the world. And Maddie says, there can be a champion in each of us if we live as a member of that team, if we choose to balance things and connect with others and live in community. Great question. What do you think of that song?
Well, what I think of it is, when I think of it, they always play that song at the end of every concert, no matter which Queen band it lives on. I mean, I think it helps people live on and feel good about themselves. I mean, I can't think of another song that does. That song was very creative.
It really is. What about music just in general? When we're thinking about things that, when we're saying, I have, I can, I am, think about music and the power of music and mottos and the things that we say to ourselves to help us deal with the tough stuff. You know, what if you say to yourself, Sam, when you're going through a tough time, what if you just say, we are the champions, we are the champions, we are the champions, and that can help you cope with it, right?
It totally works for me, yeah.
Very good. What about other people? Are there things that you can say to yourselves? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Seshwe? I'm sorry?
Seja.
Seisha. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, living this pandemic has been really stressful for so many of us. You know, it's just that, you know, when the pandemic case is held in Maryland, you know, I got really overwhelming and stressed recently. It's just because that you couldn't go to like larger gathering place and you can't see person, you know, or especially dealing with parents' conflict about the situation. This is what fears me in my life recently. And it's just extremely painful to go around everywhere I can go throughout many parts of the community, such as Montgomery County, Maryland. And, you know, I work at a giant grocery store, you know, and it's been really stressful recently. Like back in March, May customer purchased an item that may cost some like grocery items to be out of stock, as always. But, you know, I think this is what I'm trying to figure out what is the best interest I can do for my career as I prepare for my adulthood. And it is stressful for me to do that since pandemic.
That
Occasionally,
is hard.
you know, yeah.
So what are you doing now? So you're at home now. What kinds of things are you doing? What are some of your I have and I can statements?
Well, I can be positive. I can be successful, and live and thrive.
And that's good. Those are really good I can statements. What helps you be positive? Because it's good to say, I can be positive. So what can you do when you say, I can be, but I'm really struggling with being positive right now because I really want to go to work and there's not these items on the grocery store shelves. What are some things that you can do? Like Sam likes music. What is something that you can do to help you?
Well, I would have to say not getting stressed and also not hitting my head.
Not hitting your head.
You know,
That's actually a
and
really
actually,
good,
you know, I also, you know, trying to communicate with some like friends and some psychology who I can talk to with
Mhm.
in order to make sure
I am,
feel more
I
peaceful
can.
as soon as I can.
Very good. I'm going to encourage you to be thinking about all the things that you could list for I have. What do you have? Do you have music? Do you have a phone to call friends? Do you have people that you could call? And what you can then do, and start thinking about those things. What do you have and what can you do so that you can say, I am positive. Not I'm going to be positive, but I am positive because I can call this person if I need to, or I can turn on my music, or I can calm myself down and not hit my head against a wall. Those are all very good, useful resources and tools. Very good. Somebody else. Boss?
Boss, yeah.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi,
I wrote a song a little while ago, like before this epidemic even got crazy, or pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, called Blessings. It's on YouTube and everything. You guys ever want to check it out or anything like that? But it's got a real positive message and stuff. In fact, a lot of my music does, by the way. But the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes, like I pointed out on the chat, sometimes what I like to do is to pass the time during this pandemic is to write music, and it works usually. It helps me get my emotions out, get my feelings out. It helps me to get to express how I feel, and I even make music videos as well, and that helps me get more creative as well and everything. So I'm just saying that that sometimes music, like you said, can work just as well, but making music, that's like something that helps you in a different way as well. It helps you get your creative side out, but it also helps you because it helps you like what's the best way to put it? It helps you to get your creative side out, and it helps you to express yourself, and it also helps you to come to terms with any issues you've been having, and also you got to like what you're doing in the process, because if you don't like what you're doing, then like it said in my Joy song, what the heck is the point of doing anything if you don't enjoy what you like doing?
So, boss, what you've just described is resilience. That's excellent. The only thing I'd suggest, instead of saying you get it out and you express yourself, say I have music talent. I can write music. I am able to express myself in a way that helps me feel better and also brings a smile to other people. That's resilience right there. I'm hoping that you will share with Marianne or somebody your YouTube channel and your songs, so everybody here can enjoy some of your music.
Oh, actually, I have like 5 YouTube channels. Only one of them is for music.
Very good.
Send those to me, Boz, and I'll send them in an email, okay?
Okay, I will.
He did play one of his songs during one of our sessions, our Zoom sessions at Virtues. It was awesome. Everybody loved it.
Oh, I can't wait. And so now, one of the things that I can add to the Mama piece, I have, I can, I am, is, I have new inspirational creative music to listen to by my new friend Bus. I can listen to that when I'm feeling down, and I am going to listen to it. So
Okay.
thank you for that.
By the way, if anyone's interested, I'm in the process of making CDs to sell. If any of you are interested. Okay.
Very nice. Very good. Thank you. Good business.
Mhm. That's it.
Elena and Heather, hi.
How you doing? I have said like billions of times, particularly to my girls, that attitude is everything. And if you go into something with a negative attitude, chances are it's not going to come out real well, whatever it is you're trying to do. If you go in with a positive attitude, you have a much better chance of whatever your goal is to succeed for that goal. And I see it over and over again with my life and with both of my girls' lives. And fortunately, some of the time at least, they take that to heart.
That's a really important statement. I would like to say yes and. Attitude is everything, but remind everybody that there's a difference between feelings and attitude. What I taught Maddie, and he would like run around just saying this again and again, I can't choose my feelings, but I can choose my attitude. So a feeling is your emotion, sadness, anger, joy, happiness, hope. Those are all feelings. And whatever it is we're feeling, that's okay. So it's really important. If you're feeling sad because you're stressed, because you can't see your friends, because you're angry that you can't get to your job, or that your job, you may never get to go to that job again. You may need to get a whole new job. Those feelings are okay. They're natural, they're normal, and they're important to accept. And attitude is what you do with your feeling. It's what you do next. So if we're sad, if we're angry, if we're joyful, if we're happy, whatever the feeling is, what we want to make sure we're going to do next is good for us and good for others and good for our world. So we never want to hurt someone with our feelings. So if we're angry, don't hurt ourselves, don't hurt others, don't hurt our world. But it's okay to be angry. All right, that's not the same as having a bad attitude. It just means I'm angry, and I get angry about things too. All right, lots of things make me angry, lots of things make me happy. But when we're super happy, super nifty stuff, or super angry, super nasty stuff, we never want to hurt other people. We want to find that resilience and find a way to connect the attitude in a positive way. So thank you for bringing that up. Really, really important statement.
Time for just about one more comment, if anybody wants to add something. Anybody?
I'll add something.
Okay, Island.
So even though I am at home, I still find peace with, like doing writing or sometimes doing dancing at home in my room. And like taking a walk sometime on a really hard day is also good and stuff like that. I feel like I'm on a virtual vacation some days when I take a walk in my neighborhood with my mask on. And yeah, I'm trying to come up with more hobbies and activities to do at home that's not boring, because sometimes I feel like I'm going back to the same thing back to back. So, Main Street is helping me, connect with others during this time. And also, we're looking at the positive side, like you said, Mama Peace.
And make sure that you start listing all those I have, I can, I am, because you're a writer. Maybe you can write a poem about I am, I have, I can.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll write a poem and then I'll send it to you on email.
I would love that. I would love
Okay, is your email still the same?
It's mamapeace@maddieonline.com.
Okay.
My new email is switching over.
We can send it to you too if you need.
Okay, thank you. It's a new one, Jillian. We're switching over to the website email, so this one's mamapeace@maddieonline.com.
Okay, mamapeace@maddieonline.com. You guys, Marianne, do you care if I get in for one quick sec?
No, go ahead. Of
You
course.
guys, I want to do a peace picture with Mama Peace. So, if everybody, hey Boz, do you mind shutting the curtain behind you because we can't see your beautiful face? Can you just shut that a little bit? Thank you. That's great. And Island, will you get on? And Robert and Ulrich, do you mind just for the picture with Mama Peace? Because I want to send this to her and I think she'll love it. Robert, thanks, Ulrich. Robert, do you want to get on? You don't have to. And Katie, but if you want to, great. Okay. So, oh, Buzz, that's awesome. Okay, Robert, put your camera up. We can't really see you. Perfect. All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, Mama Peace. Oh, wait, Katie, 1, 2, Mama Peace. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, guys, quickly.
Thanks for letting me share today. Thank you for such great comments and questions. And I hope 2 things. One is that you all start thinking about I have, I can, I am. And I also hope you start using the word nifty when you find some really cool stuff in the world. Start saying, that's nifty. Because my motto is I'm bringing the word nifty back one young person at a time. So there we go. So Mama, please. Out.
Mama, please. Julian, do you have poll access? Mine is disabled.
What'd you say?
Can you launch a
I'm
poll?
sorry, it's because I logged on the wrong way. I apologize. Yes,
That's okay.
I am going to launch the poll. Are you guys ready?
You guys get into the poll.
Marianne, I'm so sorry. I
That's
couldn't
okay.
think and I didn't have my other computer charged, so I just got on. I didn't want to miss any, so I
Some fun things coming up. We have the e-project tomorrow. We have the travel series on Wednesday with Bridget. We're going to Africa. On Thursday, the culture series has the only theater talking about what it's like to be a working actor. Sharon's going to bake. I think she's making a peach cobbler Thursday afternoon. And that's about it. That's what I have for now. I hope you guys will all sign up. Hope you guys enjoyed today. We were honored to have you with us, Jenny. Thank you for making time and squeezing us in.
Thank you. You were great.
I loved it. I'll see you guys next month.
We love you, Jenny. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Please.
Yes, Boz.
How
Happy.
do I
Mama Peace.
how do I share my YouTube channel with you guys, all of you?
You can send it to me at info@mainstreetconnect.org, and then I will include it in the email that goes out to the group.
Okay, my mom's getting that. What you got?
It's cool that you're a musician. It's cool you're selling albums. I'm a musician, but I'd actually prefer to perform live instead of sell albums. Performing live is my style.
Oh,
That's so
let's
cool
suppose
to
when
have.
this is all over, you'd like to get together, would you?
Yep. Everybody will get
Absolutely, absolutely.
Baz, what kind of music do you make?
Alternative.
What did you say?
Alternative.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Alternative R&B and rap sometimes. Sometimes.
Okay, that's awesome. I like R&B.
That's
Bye,
awesome.
everybody.
Rap.
Bye,
I do
everybody.
rock.
Thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.